now that I've gotten my intro kind of over with, or my whatever the heck I was talking about before over with, I want to get into what I really want to talk about, which is the fact that I had a realization last night that I'm still chewing on. Okay, it's still digesting, but I feel like this is going to really set a big, powerful lesson for me, and I just kind of want to talk about it a little bit. Get this out into the ether a little bit. Again, I have my Nosy Bear snow cone with me. I'm going to try not to blind you with that light. But it's about the dragon again. Everybody knows. If you don't know, you should know by now. Or I don't know. Welcome if you're new. But I've been talking a lot about how I'm in my dragon era. My dragon era, which means that for the first time in my life, I kind of am interested in dragons and I'm learning a lot from them. And I've been going through such a deep despair. And I think for the past maybe 6 months or so, it has been just a roller coaster of like, everything is actually great and beautiful, and in life there's so much possibilities, and then deep despair, utter despair, the bottomless pit. And that's for a lot of different reasons. If you guys don't know my story, I just came out of mold toxicity. It's been a little while now, I guess a couple of years now, but I was in mold toxicity, and it I don't want to say ruined my life, because I have a big life ahead of me, but it was hell on earth. Okay, and I'm a believer that hell is real. Okay, I love Yahweh with all my heart, but it was hell on earth. I lost everything, and it landed me homeless, and I mean everything. I moved into the house with 6 cats, left with 0. Everything that I have right now, I had to debate whether I was going to have it in my life or not. And so many things I did have to let go of, and it was real hard. Gained 100 pounds like that. Y'all know my story. And it wasn't even just the weight. The weight is like it's almost wild that I even bring up the weight. But I think it's the most physical, like, jarring thing. Like, if you see my before and after photos that I post literally everywhere, it's the most jarring. My own hair was in my mouth, sorry. That's the most jarring part, okay, physically, for like a person who didn't experience it, right? To see how I was before and how I was after. Because 100 pounds is like insane to gain in only a few months due to inflammation, due to a toxin in your environment. Insane. It's insane. But the other ailments were, I would say, far more severe. I was like a walking zombie every single day of my life for close to 4 years. Just read my mold results, just talked about that over on my TikTok and my Facebook, how those mold results showcased that I had severe levels of black mold when I was in my midpoint, so, as well as copious other amounts of mold. So I say all this just to say, that's my background, okay? And that's something I'm still working on today. Week 14 of the anti-inflammatory diet, and it is working well for me. But I just say all that to say that that's where I came from. That's what I just came out of, okay? And homelessness was a whole other journey. Now I'm in this apartment building. After my mom had owned 2 houses, okay? Before the house that gave us mold, we moved out of another house, okay? It's crazy. It's crazy. But true. But it's all true. And then we owned the house that gave us mold, and had to sell that, and that was a whole thing. But yeah, so I just came out of all that, and now I'm in an apartment. it's crushing. That part is just crushing. There's so much that's crushing about it, but there's also so much hope being out of the mold, right? So much hope. But this apartment building is wild. I got in here because I was homeless. And this apartment building, Yahweh has literally given me eyes to see beautiful aspects of this apartment building, but most aspects are things that would crumble a man, things that would just break somebody. And there are many days where it does. There's a lot of drugs in this building. So I just came out of a place that was full of toxins. Now I'm in a place that's full of toxins. The management and other people don't care about the drugs in this building. They don't care. How they don't care, I don't understand, because it affected me. I had a full-blown rash last summer due to people with these drugs. And yes, I call the police. So you know what I mean? But I'm just saying that is an issue here. And it hurts my heart for the people doing it, because they do not understand what they're doing to themselves and what they're doing to other people. I weep so many tears for them on a daily basis, and then there's so many pets. I mean, my own dog, my own self, my mom, all the children in this apartment building. These people, we don't deserve this, okay? There's a lot of this heaviness, okay? And last summer, and I talked about this a little bit on my TikTok, but after it was over, I just was so over it that I didn't talk about it again. And last summer, there was a dog in this building that was on my same floor, so my neighbor, who was showing every sign of aggression. Every sign of aggression. The owner had zero control over the dog, and I do mean zero control over the dog. So much so that we were extremely vigilant, and it was an every single day experience of fight or flight for us to keep Miss Sophie safe. And mind you, we have health issues, okay? Like, we're still battling mold toxicity, something that debilitated us. Our health was at a zero. I was a zombie and physically couldn't even wash myself. And now I'm here and I'm able to talk and I'm able to do some things, but like, I'm still healing. My mom has asthma, and also dealt with everything that I talked about. And we had to take extra precautions, taking the stairs every single time, going the long way around, constantly being on edge. I mean, fight or flight every time we are leaving our apartment, because we do not know if this woman is going to barrel out in front of us. And it hasn't just been it wasn't just this one dog. There was other dogs who also had, there was even a little dog in this building who had a bite history and literally had bit my mom and bit 2 other people in this building. Since then, that dog has not become a worry or a problem. Thankfully, that owner has been much better about controlling her dog. But this dog was much bigger. This dog was a pit mix, okay? And I know y'all, it has nothing to do with the breed. I'm just saying it was a pit mix, okay? So it was bigger than like a little Shih Tzu. And this dog gave us such PTSD, okay, every single day. And we tried so hard to warn people. We tried so hard to tell management whenever something was happening that just was not okay, because this person didn't have control over the dog. And it made me sob and added so much extra pressure on me throughout winter. Like, got my gear on, doesn't matter. I'm extra tired that day, doesn't matter. I'm going through detoxing from mold toxicity, doesn't matter. I've got to hike it up. I've got to do the things. I've got to make it an extra lap around the building just to avoid this person and then go up a flight of stairs. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, sweetheart. Got to do it anyway because nobody's protecting you. Yeah. I was sobbing every single day. I was, and every single time somebody would exit the elevator, I was like, because I was terrified. You know what I mean? Come to find out, in the middle of the night, another resident of this apartment building who has a dog almost had their dog unalived by that dog. That dog ripped the leash out of that woman's hand, barreled it down an extra flight of stairs, and attacked that dog. Attacked this other little dog. Gave it 7 stitches. And had that little dog not been Scrappy, it would not be here today. Had it been my Sophie, she would not be here today. I think about that all too often. Just to give you a little idea of how management handled that. That dog was still here 2 weeks after that event. Yeah. And that all could have been avoided because we had kept giving management like suggestions on how to handle that. They didn't care, and whatever, that's just that. So just mind you, like, this isn't the first time that I have been in extreme PTSD since being in this apartment building. It has just been stressor after stressor after stressor after stressor, and there's other things that I'm not talking about, like other events that have happened. There was a person who literally essayed a woman and was a predator to many other women and was not on the lease and was still walking around. Nobody kicked him out. It took forever for him to get kicked out of here. Oh my God, people breaking in. My neighbor just got assaulted. And the management went, so what do you want me to do about it? What? And I laugh or else I'll cry, because I do cry. I cry too often. About this place. And that's just the realities of it. And when I told management that I was smelling the substances in this apartment building, she said, oh my gosh, that's really scary. She's like, oh my gosh, that's really scary. Can you like tell me who they are so I can stay away from them, because I'm like really scared. What? It's so inappropriate. Okay, first off. Second off, the second thing that she said is even more jarring. She said, I don't know, like, yeah, maybe don't call the police. Like, I don't even know what they would do about it. Don't call the police for a federal crime? Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's like what I'm working with. You know what I mean? Every time I smell it, I have the feeling that I want to just sob, and I have to wash. If you want to get into the really nitty gritty of it, I have to like wash my, a lot of my, I want to say silverware, but not my silverware, my glassware, because it like smells like it. Yeah, isn't that fun? It's like I feel like I just came out of one hellish place and moved into another. And I say this not to be negative, because I'm really not in a negative headspace today, although I will tell you, as light and bright as I'm coming across right now, there are so many days where I am, not just days, weeks, months at a time, where I am in utter despair. I don't know how to pick myself up. Utter despair. But I have Snow Cone here to help me. Anyway, I say this to say, really, that I feel like within everything, not that everything is used for a lesson. I don't believe that that's true. Read the story of Job, okay? If you believe that everything in life is for a lesson, is for a lesson. Everything in life, every bad thing happens for a reason. Read Job. Job helped me through mold toxicity. It helped me through mold toxicity. And that's what a lot of Job's friends had told him, that this happens for a reason, surely, or maybe you have done something wrong to cause this, and that wasn't true for Job. The reality was that Satan had just attacked him. The devil himself had just decided to attack him. And so in this, I know that it can be very true that bad things just happen, and that might just be my circumstance, right? Is that bad things are happening, but I can choose to learn things from this. And sometimes there are lessons in it. Sometimes there are lessons in the despair. And that might be true too. It might be in this. But what I'm choosing to learn from it, and what I do feel like Yahweh is guiding me towards, our divine creator is guiding me towards, is this lesson. Because I need to preface this by saying, another one of my big health issues right now, okay, is my adrenals, my adrenal glands, and my cortisol. While I was in mold, and throughout my life I've had adrenal issues, it's come to my realization that I've always had this, probably because I'm the one of the family who's always held a lot of the weight or the stress or the emotional stuff. I've always been the one that speaks up, that's like honest, that's like this is what needs to be done, guys, let's stand up for morality, you know what I mean? So the weight of the world has always kind of been on my shoulders a little bit. I'm deeply affected and sensitive to my surroundings, apparently. You know what I mean? Because so many other people live here and they know this stuff and they don't care, but for some reason I do, okay? And maybe if you were me, you would care too. Maybe if you were me, you wouldn't care, whatever. But I say that to say that my adrenal glands have always bothered me, but in mold, my cortisol levels plummeted. My cortisol levels, we did a cortisol test, both my mom and I. My cortisol levels were the exact opposite to a normal human being's, okay? Exact opposite. So that means that my morning rise and my rise and fall of my day is the exact opposite to a normal person, where somebody else would feel really great during the day and maybe plummet more at night. Mine was the opposite. I could not, and I mean could not, because I forced myself many times, could not wake up before 6 p.m. And that was my life. I spent a lot of my life in mold toxicity in utter darkness. It was so depressing. Since then, I've gotten a lot better, but stress is a major part of the adrenal glands. Stress is a major part of cortisol levels. And obviously, I don't feel safe. Safety is a major part of the adrenal glands. I don't feel safe here. You know, I don't feel joy here. I don't feel free. I feel stressed. I feel stressed frequently. But I think a big lesson in this for me is to have a radical light. Okay? Because this is the real truth of it. Is that I'm here. I'm here. And if I want to truly heal, I need to change something about myself. Because at this rate, if I want to heal enough to get out of here, I have to live in radical life and radical light. I have to live in that. Because, let's be so for real. This is a low-income apartment building. There is no way that this building will ever be drug-free, okay? I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube, but there's no way that this building is ever going to be free of substances. There's no way that this apartment building is going to be free of completely free of danger. You know, I have hope for this building that maybe long after I'm gone, it'll have really good management and things will clean up. But for this place to be completely substance free would be a lot. It would take a lot. And I just don't think that's possible. And so that means that me living here, it's going to remain the same. And so in order for me to get out of here, I have to change. And that's just the reality of that. And I almost feel like, what a divine time to learn this lesson. What a divine time to learn this crazy lesson of how to have a complete radical light within me that is so full of praise. When things are going wrong, things are going south, praise and pray, and having complete faith that it will work out. Have Yahweh's light so bright and vibrant within me that I don't get weighed down, bogged down. You know, I can have my moments. I think toxic positivity is unhealthy. I mean, I think just too much positivity is unhealthy. But sometimes I let myself sit in it. I let myself sit there and just like, I don't even know how to pick myself up. I don't think I ever can. And that's going to get me nowhere. It's going to get me nowhere. If my adrenals need to heal in order for me to get out of here, that means that I have to have such a radical light in me of positivity, of choosing, okay? Choosing, because sometimes it's a choice, not all the time, but sometimes positivity is a choice. Sometimes I can say, you know what, I can choose to look at that real crummy and let that get me down, or sometimes I can just kind of laugh about it a little bit and I'm choosing to pray and praise anyway. And that is the exercise. That is the task. Sometimes that is the lesson. How does this tie into the dragon? And now after talking about it, I noticed that it also ties into the Tanuki. I've been learning a lot from the Tanuki as well. Now, how has this tied in? So much of the time, when I am feeling so negative and so down, I think the fire that comes from the dragon is so crucial and so important and can be harnessed and used strategically. And it can make or break the dragon. It can be used to be something very powerful or something very destructive for the dragon. And for me, when I'm really bogged down, I let it all out. I speak a lot more negatively. When I'm praying, it is just lamentation. It is just, let me just lament to you, Father. But maybe I need to return that light within. And not scorch myself, no, return the light within. Instead of using it to scorch, using it as a source of light. And have such a radical, powerful light. When I think of a dragon's ability to blow fire, it is powerful, scorching, big. It is a force to be reckoned with. Time to put that within. Time to radicalize the light. And that might be where my power comes from. That might be where my strength comes from. In fact, I am certain of that. And that's how I'm going to choose to walk around. And I think that's going to heal my adrenals, and I think that's going to pick me up, and that's going to create a sense of safety when there is none. Because really, I've played the games of this world so much. I've played the games of this world so much. I've played by their rules. When I talk to them, it's like, hey, if you have the time, my New Year's resolution, if you guys don't know, is to have the audacity. And that's because I'm tired of living small. I'm tired of living, hey, if you guys could, if maybe, because everybody else seems to have the audacity, but I seem to want to play by everybody's rules. I seem to think that that's how this world works. I've been told that that's how this world works, but it isn't. Living small, living meek, living, hey guys, so respectfully, if you could respect my boundaries, I would respectfully, per my last email, no. Respectfully, no. It's going to be to have the audacity. And I think that's where my strength is going to come from. Have the audacity to have the faith that they cannot destroy me, that man cannot destroy me. I've been homeless. I have been homeless. I've been sick. I've had family just not be there for me when I was down, and in fact, caused me turmoil. My faith is in Yahweh. My faith is in the Father. And that's where my safety comes. You know, my safety certainly does not come from this building. It doesn't. I can put measures in place to hope that happens, but no. My safety comes from Yahweh, and I think it took a long time for me to learn that lesson. I think it could be a very scary lesson to learn, and I'm still kind of learning it as we speak. With that, I'm also learning from the Tanuki. The lessons I'm learning from the Tanuki are to have fun, laugh a little, indulge. I'm actually learning indulgence from both the dragon and the Tanuki. But indulge, laugh, make it kind of a fun game, a fun joke. Shapeshift, but not in a conniving way. Shapeshift in a fun way. Many seasons ago, I was learning from the fox, and shapeshifting and morphing into whatever in a skillful way was very powerful for me at the time, or very impactful, and it resonated with me. I don't resonate with that anymore. I really don't. I feel disconnected to that lesson. I feel very connected also to the maned wolf. And with the maned wolf and the Tanuki, they call us to be ourselves. And that the world isn't going to understand us, okay? Because the maned wolf, it looks like a bunch of different animals, but it's none of them. It looks like a fox, looks like it could be a wolf, looks like it could be a deer. It's none of those things. The Tanuki looks like it could be a raccoon. It's called the raccoon dog, also not a dog. It's its own thing. So be your own thing. Be your own thing. Have fun. Be a light. Be a joy. Have fun in it. That's what I'm learning. That is what I'm learning. The radical light. Sorry. Had to blind you. Had to do it for the message.